bringing you the news 24 hours a day, 7 days per week, with a fresh approach. www.999wefm.com. WeFM News, online, on demand.
Good afternoon and welcome to WEFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited.
Ready, cash again!
Experience the party, experience the vibes, experience the road. This carnival season, get the full experience with Ready Cash. I paid nothing for 60 days. Take a loan of 3,000 and more for Carnival 2024 and make your first payment after Carnival. Plus, you get to enter and win your loan back. All you need is your ID, proof of address, job letter, payslip, and 2 references. Visit your nearest Courts or Ready Cash location today. Experience Carnival 2024 with Courts Ready Cash. Ready when you are.
Ready, cash again!
Welcome back to WeFM's Midday News, brought to you with the kind compliments of Court St. Vincent Limited. I am your presenter, Rajiv Providence. First, on the local scene, the technical staff and the ground crew for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup account for close to 200 rooms, while cricket teams would account for just about 1,400 rooms booked over the duration of the Games. This is according to Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture Carlos James at the press conference that was held in front of the financial complex on Wednesday. We hear more from the Tourism Minister.
The cricket teams would account for about over 1,400 rooms over the duration of the games. There are quite a few games here. Some of the teams will stay on for a 5-day interval. Some will move and then come back if they're able to move into the final qualifying round, the Super 8. But we have so far on schedule to see 1,400 or so plus rooms just going to the teams alone, and 200 rooms for technical crew and technical staff who are coming to support whether it's the teams or the ICC in their preparation for the games.
That was the Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture, Carlos James. The first ICC Men's T20 Cricket World Cup match is taking place today, Thursday, June 13th, with Bangladesh taking on the Netherlands. In an unprecedented move aimed at further prioritizing employee well-being, Sandals Resorts International announced enhancements to its time away from work policy. Setting a new standard in the hospitality industry, team members across the company's Caribbean resorts will now have access to birthday and paternity leave entitlements. Effective April 26th, team members will have an additional paid day off to celebrate their birthdays, encouraging them to embrace the activities that bring joy and rejuvenation. The benefit applies to all team members whether or not their birthdays fall on a scheduled workday. Team members also have within 30 days to take the day off if circumstances prevent them from taking the leave on their actual birthday. Starting May 1st, male team members who become fathers of newborn children are full-time employees who have been with the company for at least 1 year will have 1 week of paid paternity leave, giving them even more time to bond with their children. The announcement made by the company's executive chairman, Adam Stewart, at a recent employee town hall meeting was met with jubilant cheers as team members celebrated the news. Still on the local scene, Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture Carlos James has confirmed that over 4,000 nights have been booked for the period of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup across a suite of hotels. The tourism minister noted that bookings are shared among teams, technical crew, along with spectators. We hear more from Minister James.
From the accommodation side, we are pretty much well over 75% capacity across all accommodations. And some of the major accommodations, they in fact are close to 90, if not 100%. And we'll get to 100% in the coming days as we move into the Super 8 games here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So that's something which we are looking at keenly. Our numbers are showing that there are about 4,000 nights that have been booked for the World Cup, this ICC T20 World Cup here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And this is across various suites of hotels.
That was the Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture, Carlos James. According to Minister James, among the hotels that have been booked are the Grenadine House, Beach Coomers, Sunset Shores, Young Island, Paradise Beach Hotel, Hotel Alexandrina, La Vue, and Sandals. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is the featured country of the 2024 Charleston Carry Fest. Celebrations linked to the annual festival held in Charleston, South Carolina, USA will kick off with a presentation by SVG's very own Dr. Cleve Scott at a symposium set to be held at the International African American Museum, located in South Carolina. Dr. Scott, in an interview with WEFM News earlier today, said that his presentation will focus on the origins and development of Vincy Mas. We hear more from Dr. Scott.
My presentation is on the origins and development of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Carnival, which we now call Vincy Mas. I will trace all the origins of Carnival from the late 18th century, speaking about the elements such as what we call guapa or the stilt walkers, the donkey band, monkey band, into the 21st century mass from the various mass bands and so on. The idea is to compare what happens in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to what happens in New Orleans, Louisiana, and to show the connections between African traditions in Carnival.
That was Vincentian historian Dr. Cleve Scott. Dr. Scott said that it is hoped with flights between SVG and South Carolina commencing in October of this year, that a contingent from South Carolina can venture to the island as part of Vincy Mas 2025 promotions. The 2024 Charleston Carry Fest will take place over the course of 3 days, combining 1 day of education with 2 days of festivities. Day 1 of the festival is devoted to educating the community on the featured country, and in 2024, this will be St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The second day starts the festivities with Fête en Blanc, and Day 3 is Carnival Day and includes a parade and festival celebration in Brittle Bank Park. On to news in the region. Grenada's Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell has announced a bold initiative aimed at making housing affordable in Grenada. Speaking at a town hall meeting during the second anniversary celebrations of the ruling National Democratic Party, Prime Minister Mitchell revealed the plans for the construction of 500 prefabricated houses. The primary objective behind this endeavor is to substantially lower the cost of housing across the nation. Grenada's Prime Minister highlighted the current predicament, stating that a modest 2 or 3 bedroom dwelling can command prices ranging from 250,000 EC dollars to 300,000 EC dollars. Under the proposed scheme, the Housing Authority will collaborate with 6 reputable contractors to erect prototype homes. Prospective homeowners will then have the opportunity to inspect these model houses before making their final selections. Haiti welcomed its newly appointed 12-member cabinet on Wednesday, led by Prime Minister Gary Conil, who emphasized the criticality of peace and security within the French-speaking CARICOM nation. Among the notable appointments, Conil's legal advisor, Carlos Hercules, assumes the role of Minister for Justice and Public Security, while Dominique Dupuy, Haiti's ambassador to UNESCO, steps into the position of Foreign Affairs Minister. Haiti's Finance Ministry sees a transition with Kathleen Florestal, a Princeton-educated professional, taking over from Michel Patrick Bouvert, who held the interim prime minister position earlier this year. Prime Minister Conil, a seasoned former senior official of the United Nations, pledges a robust stance against corruption, vowing regular audits of public funds to ensure accountability and transparency. On the international scene, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky anticipates pivotal outcomes at the G7 summit, where leaders from the world's wealthiest nations convene to address the ongoing conflict with Russian forces. President Zelensky emphasized the summit's focus on Ukraine's defense and economic resilience in a Telegram post. The White House reports positive strides within the G7 regarding a U.S. initiative to utilize frozen Russian assets, aiming to generate $50 billion annually to support Ukraine. Concurrently, Zelensky, present at the summit in Italy, is slated to finalize new security agreements with Japan and the US. Since Russia's extensive invasion in 2022, G7 members, including Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK, and the US, have played pivotal roles as both financial and military backers of Ukraine. Finally, in sports, Shafin Rutherford hit a sublime unbeaten 68 as West Indies fought back to beat New Zealand by 13 runs to book their place in the T20 World Cup Super 8s. The co-hosts were in trouble at 22 for 4 when Rutherford came to the crease and continued to struggle for much of the innings, slumping to 30 for 5 and 76 for 7. But Rutherford kept his cool and timed his onslaught to perfection as he took 37 from the last 2 overs of the innings to lift West Indies to 149 for 9 in Trinidad. They proved to be more than enough on a two-paced surface as New Zealand fell away in the middle overs of the chase. Fast bowler Alzarri Joseph took 4 for 19 and left-arm spinner Gudakesh Moti 3 for 25 as the Black Caps, after some late hitting from Glenn Phillips and Mitchell Santner, ended on 136 for 9. While West Indies can look forward to the next stage of a home tournament, back-to-back defeats leave New Zealand's qualification hopes hanging by a thread. They must now beat Uganda and Papua New Guinea in their remaining games and hope other results go their way. This has been WEFM's Midday News. I have been your presenter, Rajiv Providence. Join us again at 3 o'clock for WEFM's 3 p.m. news. WEFM's Midday News is brought to you with the kind compliments of Quartz St. Vincent Limited.
At Quartz Optical, 2 are better than 1. Be always ready for the occasions with a second pair of eyewear. Find your fit with a pair. Get 50% off on all men's frames and sunglasses, plus 30% off all other purchases. Ray-Ban, Armani, Converse, Vogue, and much more. Get that frame today. Shop with no cash and pay later. Plus, you can book your eye examination appointment online today on www.quartzoptical.com. Only at Quartz Optical. Value you can see.
Lynch Caribbean Brokers is here to innovate how your insurance works for you. Here to design and deliver insurance solutions.